Hello there, this is the Hooded Avenger. That's my first time ever trying to creepypasta, so here it goes. Scream of the End. The usual stories about Minecraft will always go to Herobrine about how he lives, and he's a lot more than code. But have you ever wondered about the Endermen? And whether there are any secrets about them, or wonder if there's any secrets about them. Everyone who has played Minecraft is well familiar with them by now. And while they can be hard to find in the overworld, many have visited their home in the end. Of course, they aren't hostile unless you look at them, or attack them. For this reason, quite a few will consider them friendly, and like them. Personally, I've always found them creepy and killed them whenever I could. They are based off of Slenderman, after all. Well, being as strong as they are, regular players know that if you run into them, one into one right after you spawn, you run for water. For some reason, Notch decided to code them with a fear of water. And who thought anything bad could happen with water, right? Well, water is the whole reason this mess started. I haven't even attempted to start up my game since then. I was playing on my regular world, a server that my friends and I had started. We had plenty of houses built, a seemingly unlimited supply of diamond and gold, and the Ender dragon was defeated. There really wasn't much to do in the world anymore. So you had to get very creative. My friends and I, we were creative enough, and we understood the game very well. Aaron was our redstone guy. If you needed anything powered, he thought he found a way to build it and make it better than any tutorial could ever tell you. I made a majority of the buildings, and even started working on the city. We had a few guys who would work on supplies, planting, harvesting, anything that was needed. But lastly, we had Graham. He did all the magical stuff. Enchanting, hold on, enchant potions, enchanting. He had us build him a mob trap so he could get an outrageous amount of experience whenever he wanted to. Of course, we had the randoms who would join, the occasional troll. Sometimes we would have someone new join our group as a regular. We had all fought the Ender Dragon before, and we could do it fairly quick. Aaron and I had Aaron, I, and the majority of the group would take out the crystals and fight the dragon. Graham, however, would stay on the ground, working up potions for the battle, and have the rest do deliveries. He wasn't too fond of Enderman either. That's why he made us bring water buckets to them. He stayed in the middle of the water where the Enderman couldn't get him. That's where I got my whole idea from. One day, when I had nothing else to do, I decided to get on the server. It had been about 2 weeks since the Ender Dragon was beaten, and he hadn't really gone to the end since then. We had a little trap that was set up with torches and sand that would send anyone who walked onto it into the end. But it was mostly just to make them panic. Well, I had the great idea of using the end to farm ender portals. I was planning to use Graham's idea with the buckets in order to do it, but on a massive scale. I had every intention of flooding the end. With the help of the inventory editor and the fly command, I started. Of course, I was the only person on, and I figured everyone would have a good laugh. I figured everyone would have a good. I'm sorry, I lost my place. Uh, I figured. I figured everyone would have a good laugh out of the fact that I flooded the home with the Enderman. As I started going on, a good portion of the floating island they called home was filling up quickly. You would hear them panic and teleport away every time they would get splashed, and the occasional scream from them when they decided to go swimming for too long. It's amusing how much determination to live a simple computer AI can give a being. As the rest of the island started to fill up, they became very crafty on their spawns. Many were going under the island on little ledges, but as soon as I saw them, they would be swept away from the water and fall into the void. I kept going until there was a little square in kept going to the little square in the center. In the obsidian platforms I spawned in on, they were pushing each other for what little precious space they had left, and one would follow the platform, and in the water every few seconds I made a few more trips around the island, filling up any spots that I missed, and finishing off the stragglers that found a comfy spot to sit on. One day, one had even found a spot buried in the ground in a 4 tall tunnel until I flooded him out. This all took till about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was happy when I was able to finish the job by the night's end. After I was sure I had filled up every dry spot, I filled up the square in the center. Many Endermen just swam until you heard the death scream, and they fell. While a few of them managed to teleport to the platform, I decided to have a little fun at first, flooding the edges and watch them push each other into the water and off the level. This left only 4. This just compelled me to get it over with the flood, and then flood the center, which I did, causing 3 of the 4 to fall off the platform. But one remaining Enderman stayed jumping in the center, and saw his health being chipped away. Finally, he fell to the floor and screamed. But it wasn't the normal death scream. I had grown accustomed to it during my trip. It was glitching, slowed down. Then it would start, overskip, and drag out even more. Eventually the rest of the game took suit, and I was unable to move. The sound repeated itself, as did his body falling to the floor. That doesn't tell. Minecraft has run out of memory. Minecraft then crashes as does Java. As many people do when something like that happens. I started up both the server and Minecraft again. I figured it was just a glitch due to the massive amount of water running and the loot that was on the ground from the Enderman dying. I put in my IP address and then the multiplayer and hit connect. Error. World not found. Shit. I thought as I knew that the crash had corrupted the files. Luckily, I backed up the world I backed the world right before we fought the dragon. Right before we fought the dragon. I see nothing in the air. The crystals are on the tower, but no dragon to feed off of them. I noticed next that the Endermen were gone as well. I get on the island, walk around a bit until eventually I'm hit. I look up to see the crystals are chaining to see what I presume to be the Ender Dragon. He was invisible, so the world didn't load properly. I save, exit both programs, restart my computer, and get right back into it. The dragon is there, but the Endermen are still absent. Easier fight, as I don't have to worry about looking in the wrong direction and having to ward off a pissed off Enderman. 20 minutes later, I shoot the last arrow into the Ender Dragon, and he floats in the air. The egg drops onto the fountain. I run over there so I can get out of the end. But on this strange occurrence, the end portal usually fills the fountain. The end portal that usually fills the fountain now, just the same texture as water. A bucket couldn't pick it up like normal water though. This just led me to think that the .jar file was corrupted, and I hop in. Eventually it functions just as normal end portal would. Eventually, I hear the death scream to the Enderman again. Not just once, but over and over. The portal finally works, but it wasn't what I expected. Black. Then, Minecraft has run out of memory. I reinstall the files, including the world for another time, and the game starts up without a hitch. I get back to the portal and hop in. This time, it's not just the end that awaits me. Instead, it seems like an endless room. But I can still see that. But it's just a faint glow around me. I walk forward, thinking it could be the Ender, and something like a potion of blindness is stopping me from seeing it. The faint globe of light's all I can see, and the only source of light in my room as well. The platform doesn't end in a few blocks though, and the obsidian continues. Shattering my hopes of being in the end, the obsidian floor keeps going in all directions. So I follow a straight line. I walk, and the sounds start. My footsteps first, but then the sound of blocks being placed as I go forward. The faint sound of Enderman begins. It increases. First just normal grunts, then they sound as if they're agitated. The sounds become much more frequent as it gets louder, as if the whole horde chasing me, but they refuse to catch me. I start to see purple pixels, as if they are teleporting themselves at me. Then it stops. A few seconds and steps later, one comes flying at the screen, and the death scream goes at full volume. This makes me literally jump and go off the keyboard and mouse. Silence. It doesn't start up again until I move the mouse. Once more sound, a light grunt. One more sound, a light grunt, as if they're letting me know they're in the darkness, just out of my sight. I go forward again, clicking my mouse, hoping to hit one of them or a wall. Anything. The pattern starts over. The sounds, the pixels, then scare. I didn't stop moving though, and neither did they. It continues. Escape Alt F4. They don't have any function. Unplugging the computer is out of the question, as I refuse to risk my equipment. I keep going, hoping it ends. After about 3 minutes of the cycle, it does. I'm teleported one last time, unable to move. The Enderman on the screen stares straight into my eyes. Water surrounds my character, and after 20 seconds, he begins to drown. You are dead. In the background, the Enderman still looks like his stoic appearance, not even flinching as much as an inch. 5 seconds later, the computer powers down without warning, and I'm left in the dark. The next day, I send my friend the files for the world, then play the game. They play the game without any flaws. Gone to the end, and even got a few pearls. I refuse to. I don't even have the files on my computer anymore. I did a complete wipe of the hard drive. Minecraft became more than a game that night. It's a lot more than a simple AI controlling a few entities. Definitely more than that glitch. These games are entities that form on our fears. They do that and much more. It's a lot more than simple coding now. The Endermen. They do hold a grudge. They have a fear. And it is not something to taunt them with. They are aware, and they will make sure you become well aware of them and their presence.